Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going on a journey to Central Europe to explore two fascinating countries, Czechia and Slovakia. You might know them as the inseparable duo that was once Czechoslovakia, but don't let their shared history fool you. These two nations have distinct personalities, cultures, and a whole lot of surprises up their sleeves. So if you're ready to dive into a world of medieval castles, breathtaking landscapes, and maybe even enjoy a refreshing Pilsner along the way, then buckle up because things are about to get fascinating. From the towering peaks of the High Tatras to the echoing halls of Prague Castle, we're about to uncover the hidden gems and surprising facts that make Czechia and Slovakia so unique. Let's get started. Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty of castles and beer, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the hyphen in the name. Czechoslovakia, as it was once known, had a bit of a complicated history. For much of the 20th century, these two distinct nations were bound together, sometimes harmoniously, sometimes not so much. But then, in 1989, came the Velvet Revolution, a peaceful protest movement that swept across Czechoslovakia, leading to the fall of communism. And with the fall of the Iron Curtain came a surge of national identity. Both Czechs and Slovaks began to reassert their own unique cultures and aspirations. This led to what's now known as the Velvet Divorce, a peaceful and amicable separation in 1993. It was a testament to the maturity and pragmatism of both nations that they could part ways without bloodshed, choosing collaboration and mutual respect over conflict. Now I know what you might be thinking. A peaceful divorce? Is that even possible? Well, in the case of Czechia and Slovakia, it absolutely was. They even divided their assets like, a country does. With remarkably little drama, it's a testament to the enduring friendship between these two nations. So, while we explore their individual stories today, remember, the history of Czechia and Slovakia is deeply intertwined, a tapestry woven with threads of shared heritage, peaceful separation, and a bright future as independent nations. All right, let's kick things off with a bit of architectural grandeur, shall we? And when it comes to grandeur, it doesn't get much grander than Prague Castle. Perched high above the city of Prague, the capital of Czechia, this sprawling complex isn't just a castle, it's a small city in itself, and it holds the Guinness World Record for the largest ancient castle in the world. Imagine, if you will, 1,000 years of history condensed into one breathtaking panorama. Walking through the castle grounds is like stepping back in time. You've got towering Gothic cathedrals, Romanesque basilicas, and even a charming little street called Golden Lane, where, legend has it, alchemists once toiled away trying to turn lead into gold. And the view, don't even get me started on the view. From the castle ramparts you can gaze out over the red-tiled rooftops of Prague, the Vltava River winding its way through the city and the rolling hills of Bohemia in the distance. It's enough to make even the most jaded traveller feel like they've stepped into a fairy tale. But Prague Castle isn't just a pretty face, it's also a symbol of Czech history and national identity. It's been the seat of power for Bohemian kings, Holy Roman emperors, and even Czech presidents. It's seen it all: wars, revolutions, plagues, you name it, and yet it still stands, a testament to the enduring spirit of the Czech people. So if you ever find yourself wandering the cobblestone streets of Prague, do yourself a favour and make the trek up to Prague Castle. Trust me, you won't regret it. It's an experience that'll stay with you long after you've said Na shledenu to this magical city. Now let's hop over to Slovakia, a country often overshadowed by its more famous neighbour, but brimming with its own unique charm. And if you're looking for natural beauty that'll take your breath away, look no further than Slovak Paradise National Park. Forget your perfectly manicured gardens and your crowded tourist traps. Slovak Paradise is all about rugged gorges, cascading waterfalls and dense forests just begging to be explored. It's a place where you can truly reconnect with nature. Breathe in the fresh mountain air, and maybe even work up a sweat while you're at it. Speaking of working up a sweat, Slovak Paradise is a hiker's dream come true. With over 300 kilometers of marked trails, there's something for everyone, from leisurely strolls to challenging climbs. You can scramble up steep cliffs, traverse narrow canyons on wooden ladders bolted into the rock face, and cool off with a dip in a crystal-clear mountain stream. But the real stars of the show are the waterfalls. Slovak Paradise is home to countless waterfalls, each more impressive than the last. Imagine water cascading down moss-covered rocks, creating a symphony of sound that echoes through the forest. It's pure magic. So, if you're an outdoor enthusiast looking for adventure or just someone who appreciates the beauty of the natural world, add Slovak Paradise National Park to your travel bucket list. It's a place where you can escape the hustle and bustle of everyday life and lose yourself in the tranquility of nature. All right, let's be honest, no discussion about Czechia would be complete without mentioning the national beverage beer. But this isn't just any beer, folks. This is Czech beer, renowned throughout the world for its quality, its flavor, and its long and storied history. We're talking about a country that's been brewing beer for over 1,000 years, since medieval times. In fact, the Czechs are credited with inventing the Pilsner style of beer in the 19th century, a style that's now imitated all over the world. But what makes Czech beer so special? Well, for starters, it's all about the ingredients. Czech brewers are sticklers for tradition, using only the finest Czech hops, barley, and water. And speaking of water, the soft water in the Czech Republic is said to be ideal for brewing, giving the beer its characteristically smooth and crisp taste. But it's not just about the ingredients, it's also about the technique. Czech brewers take their craft very seriously, using traditional brewing methods that have been passed down through generations. They understand that making great beer is an art form, and they treat it with the respect it deserves. So, what are you waiting for? Grab yourself a pint of Pilsner Urquell, Budvar, or any of the other fantastic Czech beers out there, and raise a toast to a country that knows how to brew a good beer. Na zdraví! All right, let's head back to Slovakia now, to a land of towering peaks, glacial lakes, and breathtaking alpine scenery, the High Tatras. This majestic mountain range, shared with neighboring Poland, is the crown jewel of Slovakia's natural beauty and a paradise for outdoor enthusiasts. Picture this: jagged peaks piercing the clouds, their slopes blanketed in emerald green forests, crystal clear lakes reflecting the sky like shards of broken glass. It's a landscape that'll make you want to grab your hiking boots, fill your lungs with fresh mountain air, and set off on an adventure. And speaking of adventure, the High Tatras have something for everyone. Experienced hikers can challenge themselves on demanding trails that wind their way up to the summits, while those looking for a more leisurely experience can opt for scenic walks around the glacial lakes or take a ride on one of the many cable cars that offer stunning views of the surrounding peaks. In the winter, the High Tatras transform into a winter wonderland, perfect for skiing, snowboarding, and other snow sports. Imagine carving down pristine slopes surrounded by snow-capped peaks and breathing in the crisp mountain air. It's enough to make even the most die-hard beach bum want to trade in their flip-flops for a pair of skis. But the High Tatras aren't just about physical activity, they're also a place of peace and tranquility. The silence of the mountains, broken only by the sound of birdsong and the wind rustling through the trees, is incredibly restorative. It's the perfect place to escape the stresses of everyday life and reconnect with nature. Let's journey back to Prague now, to a place that's as iconic as it is historic, Charles Bridge. Spanning the Vltava River, this magnificent stone bridge isn't just a way to get from one side to the other. It's a symbol of Prague, a witness to centuries of history and a living, breathing work of art. Imagine yourself strolling along the cobblestones, the sound of your footsteps echoing through the arches. Above you, the sun streams through the gaps between the statues that line the bridge, casting intricate shadows on the ground. You're surrounded by a cacophony of sound. Street musicians serenading passers-by, vendors hawking their wares, and the excited chatter of tourists from all corners of the globe. But Charles Bridge wasn't always this bustling. Construction began way back in 1357 under the reign of King Charles IV, hence the name. Back then, it was the only bridge across the Vltava River, connecting Prague Castle on one side with the Old Town on the other. It was a vital artery of the city, used by everyone from merchants and farmers to kings and emperors. And speaking of kings and emperors, look closely at the statues lining the bridge. These aren't just any old statues, they're mostly Baroque-style sculptures of saints, each with their own story to tell. You've got St. John of Nepomuk, the patron saint of bridges, St. Wenceslas, the patron saint of Bohemia, and many more. But perhaps the most magical time to experience Charles Bridge is at dawn or dusk. As the sun rises or sets, bathing the city in a warm glow, the bridge takes on an almost ethereal quality. It's a sight that'll stay with you long after you've left Prague. Let's take a break from the castles and bridges for a moment and immerse ourselves in the vibrant world of Slovak folk music. This isn't just music, it's the soul of Slovakia, a reflection of its history, its people, and its deep connection to the land. Close your eyes and imagine the sound of violins soaring through the air, their melodies both joyful and melancholic at the same time. The rhythmic thud of shepherd's flutes blends with the steady beat of a handcrafted drum, creating a sound that's both ancient and undeniably catchy. Slovak folk music is as diverse as the country itself. From the lively polkas and waltzes of the lowlands to the haunting melodies of the mountain regions, there's a rhythm and a tune for every occasion. Whether it's a wedding celebration, a harvest festival, or simply a gathering of friends and family, music is an integral part of Slovak culture. And it's not just about the music itself, it's about the stories behind the songs, the traditions they represent, and the sense of community they foster. These songs have been passed down through generations, often orally, preserving the history and folklore of the Slovak people. So if you ever have the opportunity to experience Slovak folk music firsthand, don't hesitate. Let the rhythms move you, let the melodies transport you, and let the spirit of Slovakia fill your heart. It's an experience you won't soon forget. Let's return to Czechia now, to a world of sparkling crystal, intricate designs, and a craftsmanship that's been honed over centuries. The world of Bohemian glass. This isn't just your average glassware, folks. This is art in its purest form, a testament to the skill and artistry of Czech glass makers. Imagine holding a piece of Bohemian crystal in your hand. The light catches the facets, creating a dazzling display of rainbows. You run your fingers over the smooth surface, marveling at the precision of the cuts and the delicacy of the engravings. It's no wonder that Bohemian glass has been prized by collectors and connoisseurs for centuries. The history of Bohemian glass making dates back to the 13th century, to the forests of Bohemia, where skilled artisans discovered the secrets of transforming sand into shimmering works of art. Over the centuries, Czech glassmakers developed innovative techniques for blowing, cutting, and engraving glass, pushing the boundaries of what was possible with this versatile material. And speaking of pushing boundaries, Bohemian glass isn't just about traditional designs. While classic crystal chandeliers and intricately engraved vases are still popular, contemporary Czech glass artists are experimenting with new forms, colors, and techniques, creating modern masterpieces that are both beautiful and thought-provoking. So, whether you're looking for a stunning centerpiece for your dining table, a unique piece of jewelry to treasure, or simply want to admire the artistry of Bohemian glass, be sure to seek out this Czech treasure. It's a reminder that true craftsmanship never goes out of style. Our journey takes us back to Slovakia now, to the capital city of Bratislava, where perched high above the Danube River stands a majestic sentinel, Bratislava Castle. Visible from miles around, this imposing fortress has witnessed centuries of history, from its days as a royal residence to its more recent role as a national symbol. Imagine yourself standing on the castle grounds, the wind whipping through your hair as you gaze out over the city below. The mighty Danube River, reflecting the sky like a ribbon of silver, winds its way through the heart of Bratislava, dividing the city into its old and new sections. Bratislava Castle has a long and storied past dating back to the 9th century. It's been destroyed and rebuilt numerous times, each iteration reflecting the architectural styles of the day. Today, the castle stands as a majestic blend of Romanesque, Gothic and Renaissance elements, a testament to its enduring presence. But Bratislava Castle isn't just a pretty facade, it's also home to the Slovak National Museum, where you can delve into the rich history and culture of Slovakia. From prehistoric artifacts to exhibits on Slovak folk art and traditions, there's something to pique the interest of every history buff. So if you find yourself wandering the charming streets of Bratislava, be sure to make the trek up to Bratislava Castle. It's a chance to step back in time, soak up breathtaking views, and learn about the fascinating history of this often overlooked European gem. It's time to delve into the world of words now to explore the rich literary tradition of Czechia. From the whimsical tales of robots to the existential musings of Kafka, Czech literature has a way of getting under your skin, making you question, think, and feel deeply. We're talking about a country that's produced literary giants like Franz Kafka, whose surreal and often nightmarish stories continue to captivate and disturb readers to this day. Think The Metamorphosis, where a man wakes up transformed into a giant insect. Talk about a bad morning. But Czech literature isn't all existential angst and surrealism. There's also the playful genius of Karel Čapek, who actually coined the word robot in his 1920 play RUR, Rossum's Universal Robots. His works often explored themes of technology, society, and what it means to be human in an increasingly mechanized world. And let's not forget the poignant and often humorous works of Milan Kundera, whose novel The Unbearable Lightness of Being explores themes of love, loss, and the search for meaning in a world seemingly devoid of it. His characters are flawed, relatable, and utterly human, their struggles and triumphs resonating with readers across generations. But what is it about Czech literature that makes it so compelling? Perhaps it's the country's turbulent history, its struggles for independence and identity that have infused its literature with a certain depth and introspection. Or maybe it's simply the Czech knack for storytelling, for weaving words into tapestries that capture the complexities of the human experience. So, if you're looking for literature that will challenge you, move you, and stay with you long after you've turned the final page, be sure to explore the world of Czech literature. You might just discover your next favorite author. So there you have it, a glimpse into the fascinating worlds of Czechia and Slovakia. We've explored towering castles and breathtaking landscapes, tasted the delights of Czech beer, and immersed ourselves in the rich cultures of these two unique nations. But this is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. There's so much more to discover, from the charming towns and villages to the warm hospitality of the Czech and Slovak people. So if this video has sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to delve deeper, to plan your own adventure, and experience the magic of Czechia and Slovakia for yourself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed learning about Czechia and Slovakia, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating facts from around the world.